So this is the V3 Pro, the Black Widow V3 Pro. Here's the actual V3 Pro, the green edition. So if we take this off here, okay, so this is green. So this is kind of clicky. So if we go, should be able to hear that pretty well. So basically every time that you pretty much type on this one here, it has a very clicky sound, which is usually good for gamers and stuff because usually they have on headsets and they can't hear. However, in certain situations, that's actually not exactly the best idea because, there we go, because you run into situations where the headset is, where you run into situations where you have multiple devices, particularly when you work and then you work from home. So like you work from home, plus you wanna actually have a gaming setup, but you wanna use one keyboard and mouse. See, back in the day, we used to use what's called a USB 3 switch, which is actually this guy here. I got like too many cameras. So a USB 3 switch, which would have swapped between the two inputs. So you would have a keyboard and a mouse plugged into the USB switch, and then you just press a button to swap it to a different input. However, this creates a whole bunch of cables. And what this actually does is it has essentially, if you look, okay, it's right here. So if we look there, you see how it has, oh, that is clean. Right there, 2.4 gig as well as Bluetooth. Right there. So essentially what this can do is it can switch between 2.4 gig wireless as well as Bluetooth. Now, the thing about the Bluetooth is you don't really want to game on that guy. You want to game on the wireless and have Bluetooth to your job. So if you have a work laptop or work MacBook Pro or something like that, you want to set that to the Bluetooth. And then all your gaming and stuff, you want to use the 2.4 gig. Now, the only thing with this is that once you hook up wired, all bets are off because it's going to immediately switch to the wired whatever you do. So be sure not to use wired unless you're charging it, or you want it to actually use wired and you're not going to be using the second input. But if you are going to be using the second input on this guy, then you want to go ahead and unhook the actual cable going into the keyboard. Now, what's interesting is that this guy here is $130, whereas this guy here is $300. So they're the exact same keyboard, except this one is green and this one is yellow. So I wanted to go ahead and take a look at this guy to see if it's going to be anywhere near close to what I would imagine to be a decent build or a decent deal. Now, also, if you guys do have questions during this product review, just be sure to ask them in the chat. I'll be sure to answer. So this is the Black Widow V3 Pro, and this is going to be the yellow edition. So if we just move this over to the side here and then pick this guy up, and let's see what the difference is, if it's actually worth the extra $150, which I don't think anything on this planet is going to be worth that, but I'm willing to test it to see. If I can actually get this out the box, that'd be great. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Okay. So it does come with a wrist rest, which is this guy right here. This guy right here, which is a wrist rest. And that guy's pretty good. I use it for just about everything because it's not magnetic, so it actually doesn't really connect to this guy. So you can use it for other keyboards as well. Oh my God, this thing, okay, maybe it is worth that. Okay. I'm gonna be quiet and we can actually listen to this. Okay, this is the Cherry MX Yellows, and then this is the green, yellow, green. So we take this off, you can see yellow, and we'll take this off and you can see green. That way you can tell the difference. Okay, check this out. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm starting to wonder, they may have had the right idea here because this guy, even though it's more expensive, it is completely silent. So like the reason why you want this is because if you have a mic in front of you, so like for example, there is a mic in front of me and there's usually a mic in front of me when I'm in the chat mode as well, then you essentially don't want anything in any kind of audio to be picked up except for your voice. And whenever you have these clicky keys and you're typing, everyone and their mother can hear you. And that is the problem with these clicky keyboards. Even though the features are exactly identical between the green and the yellow is whisper quiet. Also, there is a bit more resistance on here than it is on the greens. The yellows actually have a little bit more give to it. So whenever you're pressing down on this, it actually feels like there's some resistance there. Whereas this one here doesn't feel like as much resistance. It just feels like a normal Razer green keyboard. This guy is a 140, this guy is 300. That's the only thing that really kind of gets me about this guy, is that it's even though it's yellow and it's yellow all throughout the entire keyboard, my problem is the price point. Generally, whenever you see like yellows, like the linear silent yellows versus the clicky greens, what's usually is the price point is that it's usually about a $20 to $30 price point. I usually never see it go over 50. The fact that it's actually 50, oh, I'm sorry, not 50, 150 is what's actually crazy about this guy. That is so much money, but it just came out, so I get that, but $300, I don't know about that. But it is extremely quiet. So one of the things that that I kind of like about this guy, so that not only is it quiet, it is pretty portable, because this guy here actually uses what's a USB-C for charging. Whereas if we look at my normal keyboard that I currently have here, which is right here, the Logitech G915, this guy uses a micro USB port. However, this guy is also pretty quiet too, but this one is portable. So if we want to listen to this one here, I'm just gonna press, I'll just press Alt. Okay, so this guy is super quiet as well, but the same thing is this guy doesn't have as much travel as these guys here. So this guy here has more travel, but they're both equally quiet. So these are gonna be browns, and this is yellow. So if we just remove a cap here, maybe I can show you. Well, okay, I'm using this, so bear with me. Okay, so this is Cherry MX brown, this is yellow, this is green. Green, yellow, and brown. So brown is actually extremely quiet. There we go. Okay, so brown is actually extremely quiet, and that's why I like this one here as my new keyboard as opposed to this yellow. But you know, kudos to them for at least making a yellow version in case you wanted something quieter. But at the same time, that price point needs to come down before anyone actually makes that decision. So, you know, I thought that would be kind of neat to actually just take a little bit of time and talk about this particular product here to see exactly what I thought about it and to see if it's worth the actual change. It's maybe, if it was like maybe $30 more or $40 more, I get it, because it's the entire keyboard, even the numpad is quiet, but $150, I don't see it being worth that. It was like $300 on Amazon. But if you decided you want to go with something like the green or the yellow for work and play, I'll have a link in the actual description of this Twitch stream. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and move on back to our regularly scheduled programming.